The Sega Dreamcast came out on September of 1999. You know, the first time that I heard of the Sega Dreamcast was back in 1998. It was early 1998, and I saw it in some magazines, I remember, and then it came out later in the year in Japan, and Soul Calibur just looked amazing, honestly, and Sonic Adventure. And I was like to myself, I was like, you know what, I have to have this. So I begged my parents to get me one on the following year, on September 999, which is 999 1999. I remember the 2K bug and everything. You know, we were coming to an end of an era, and you know, when it comes to the Dreamcast, honestly, the graphics were just ahead of its time, and honestly, we were on par with arcades. And for me, the Sega Dreamcast has a really special spot in my heart, where I have so many great memories on the system. And you know, I just, even to this day, I still play my Sega Dreamcast. And you know, I always go back and play a lot of games. But back then, I remember I would just spend so many hours. And another memory that I have too is that I was around the time when I got my first job, I would say, and I would spend all my money on the Sega Dreamcast, like the games like Resident Evil and Shenmue, and I was so invested into the Sega Dreamcast. You know, the PS2 came out in 2000, but to be honest with you guys, when I didn't know that the Dreamcast was going to be discontinued, I was super happy with the Dreamcast. You know, honestly, I just I couldn't care less about the PlayStation, you know, because I was so happy with the Dreamcast. And when I found out that the Dreamcast, you know, was going to get discontinued, you know, it was pretty sad, honestly, for someone that was hardcore like me, that was like invested into it. And when you look back at the system, there were just so many great games. Marvel vs. Capcom, you know, the list goes on and on. How great this game console is, you know. And on this video, I want to discuss some of the mods, special mods that I recommend for anybody that is hardcore into the Sega Dreamcast. That I recommend, honestly, is just hands down, it's the best way to experience the system. What else can I say? I mean, I have so many memories, you know, I could go on and on the system. But on this video, I'm gonna go into another video that I'm gonna show you guys, where I'm gonna show you guys the mods that I have done, the pricing, and what exactly it does to your system. So let's get this video going. Hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, let's start it. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Power Glove Pixels back again with a new video. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys my mod Sega Dreamcast that I modded. And this project I started about, I believe last year, late last year, and I finally was able to finish it this year after, you know, finding the right prices and stuff. So let me start by starting some of the mods that I did to the Sega Dreamcast. So the first thing that I did was I installed a Naki fan, which makes everything super quiet. It makes a huge difference, honestly, installing this, because the original one was way too damn loud. The next thing we did here is we added a special battery which can be detachable. Back in the day, if you wanted to replace this battery, you would have to send it back to Sega. And this battery had a couple functions. It would tell you the time, the year, and in certain games it would actually help you, like Sonic Adventure, breeding an animal, or Seaman, or Phantasy Star Online, and this battery would come in handy. So that's how it would rely. Now keep in mind that this must be rechargeable. It's not a regular battery. It has to be a rechargeable battery, so keep that in mind. The next thing we have back here is a GDEMU. So think about this like a hard drive or an SSD. So instead of something spinning here, if you remember the Sega Dreamcast, it was reading it from a disk. No longer. Now it's reading it everything from a like an SSD that's back there. If you can see, let me see. Yeah, so it's an SSD. And basically you just put all the games in there, and it's super fast. Makes a huge difference, to be honest with you. Now keep in mind that I'm gonna go to my computer and show you guys something very interesting. There's two different versions. There's a fake and there's the real one. The one on the right is the real one, and the left is the fake. Can you guys see why? I'm gonna give you a couple seconds, and the reason is, oh, sorry about that, Sam. One of the reasons is if you look at the 2 at the end and the E, and look at this one, for example, it has the 4E. That is the fake one. The one on the left is the fake one. Another thing how you can spot a fake one is that the left one doesn't have anything on the board, the CPU little board thing here, and on the right it says Cyclone 2. So the difference is that this board, when it was available to buy, it was for 150 bucks, which I was able to get it for 150. Now on eBay, these can go for 400 bucks, 600 bucks, and it's super expensive. Now you can get the copy, the clone, which goes for like 70 to 120. But one of the biggest drawback that I've noticed is, one, you cannot update. So unfortunately, if the developer adds new features, you're stuck. So that's one of the biggest drawback in my personal. And the second one, it's not compatible with a lot of games. So I would say it's maybe like a 60%, and games don't work, crashes. This one, you can update. Everything is 100% compatible. So keep that in mind. Now let's get back to the Sega Dreamcast. If you're gonna put this GDMU, make sure that you remove, I don't know if you can see, remove this 12 volt right here. You have to remove this little chip right here where you see it's missing. This one has it, this one doesn't anymore, because this one on the side is a 3.2 and this is the 12 volt. This was being used before when CD was spinning, so it would rely on that motor. You don't no longer need it. Now if you leave it with that chip on and this setup, then you're gonna create too much heat, and then that's the problem. At the end of the day, you don't want none of this to over burn. So that's why you need to remove. Keep that in mind. You need to remove that right there. Now let's move on. The next thing that I did to the system, let's see if I can get to the back here. Okay, so right here is your out pick for your picture, and there was 3 ways back in the day: red, white, and yellow, which was the basic. Then there was S-Video, and then there was VGA. VGA, honestly, it looked great, but one of the biggest problems that I have VGA is that you can't connect it to a 4K TV. You know, I have all my TVs are 4K. I cannot connect it to a VGA. So at the end of the day, it's analog and it's only 480p, and it looks great if you have it in a special type of monitor. But now, if you see in the bottom right here, this is a HDMI, mini HDMI to an HDMI. So it's pretty much an HDMI keyboard. It's going directly to the CPU. So you're getting digital to digital. And honestly, I couldn't install this personally, so I had to send it. And that board is 150 plus the activation, installation, I should say, activation. The installation, it's about 80 bucks. And it makes a huge difference. And I gotta thank Finger Cramp, I believe that was the company that installed it professionally, and yeah, they did a great job. The next thing that you see here is Wi-Fi. So now this system could actually get updates. Think about it like Xbox One getting updates, same thing. So this actually gets updates, which is pretty cool. And so 95% I would say I'm almost done. I'm still missing the broadband adapter, which is extremely rare, and believe it or not, you can actually play online. But back in the day, it would connect to Sega, obvious. Now it connects to a special IP address, and it connects to a special community of I don't know if I should say hackers or whatever, but there's about 100 people or hundreds of people playing certain games like Phantasy Star, and you can actually play. I'll give the links down below if you guys want to set that up, or you guys want me to set it up. But like right now at the moment, I can't because I need that broadband. So I'm looking to get that if I want to connect this to online. Now keep in mind that you cannot chat with anybody. So you can only use the keyboard the way it was back in the day. So now the biggest question is, all this worth it? Honestly, no. This is only honestly for someone that loves the Sega Dreamcast, wants the best picture, the best sound, what the system has to offer. And yeah, honestly, you can say emulation, but honestly, when it comes to emulation, the Sega Dreamcast is not that good. It's kind of like the PS2, not that good, or the N64. Emulation, from my experience, only the NES and the Super and the Genesis is like I'll say like a 90% there. But I still think that there's a 10% of stuff that don't work even on that. So at the end of the day, I can't recommend this for everybody. You know, I've wasted about, if you look at 150, another 150, you're looking at about 300, 340, 350. Yeah, you're looking about almost $400 here. Now, that's on a good day and when it was available. Now, unfortunately, you can't get this anymore officially from them anymore. So you have to pay, you know, a premium price on eBay, which can go for, like I've seen, on $800 to $1,000. But unfortunately, it's pretty tough to get, you know, all these parts now. But honestly, it does make a difference. This HDMI looks better than the VGA. For some reason, I find the colors more vibrant. The reds look more red, the greens look more green, and the sound just sounds amazing. So I cannot stress how great this connection looks. Yeah, what else can I say about this? Do I recommend it for everybody? No, like I said. But anyways, I think this is pretty much it for the video. I just wanted to make a short video of what kind of mods I did to my Sega Dreamcast, one of my favorite systems of all time. If you have any questions, just leave down below and I'll try to answer. So this is Power Glove Pixels. Till next time.